There are new warnings ahead of hunting season that you need to know about. The DNR saying PFAS contamination in the Bay of Green Bay is showing up in tests for ducks in northeast Wisconsin. Take a look at this map just to give you an idea. Here is Green Bay, this is Sturgeon Bay, and that is Marinette. Now, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources and the Department of Health Services issued consumption advisories for two different areas here in the Bay of Green Bay. This red area right here warns that everyone not eat any mallard mussel from the general area of ducks found right here. This larger yellow area extending out to Oconto, Marinette, Sturgeon Bay, saying mallards are only safe to eat once per month and wood duck once per week. You can take a closer look at this map at WBAY.com. It does not stop there. The PFAS contamination also happening in the North Woods. Fish collected from the Moen Lake chain and Snowden Lake showed PFAS contamination as well. And within 5 miles of the Town of Stella Town Hall in Oneida County, there is guidance concerning PFAS and deer. The DNR saying that consumption of muscle tissue one time per month, and there is a do not advisory, eat advisory, that is, for deer liver. For more details, you can head to our website and get more details on this story.